You've probably been in that situation where you tried too hard to impress a woman, said too much, over-explained, maybe even changed how you acted just to be liked. But instead of gaining respect, something strange happened. She pulled away. The more effort you put in, the less she seemed interested. It's a quiet pain every man has felt, trying to win someone over only to realize you lost yourself in the process. Stoicism teaches that a man who values himself doesn't chase approval. He attracts it by living in alignment with his principles. Today, we'll break down 7 things high-value men never do around women, and why following these will transform the way people, not just women, see you. Before we begin, if you're working on becoming your most grounded and unshakable self, make sure to like this video and subscribe. It helps this message reach more men who need it. Number 1. High-value men never seek validation from women. A low-value man lives off approval. He texts too fast, explains himself too much, and changes his tone depending on who's watching. But a Stoic man understands something sacred. Validation is a form of control. When you crave someone's approval, you hand them the power to define your worth. That's weakness disguised as affection. The moment a woman feels that your emotions depend on her response, she instinctively loses respect. Why? Because you've revealed that you don't have inner stability, that you're easily moved by her attention or silence. A high-value man remains unmoved. He appreciates affection, but he doesn't chase it. He knows that the approval he seeks must come from within, not from any woman. In Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Validation addiction poisons your thoughts because it teaches you to measure yourself through someone else's lens. When you stop seeking it, you stop living reactively. You stop begging for crumbs of attention and start commanding quiet respect. Women respect men who validate themselves. The ones who know who they are, what they stand for, and where they're going, with or without her. That's why the first rule of high-value living is this: never seek validation, not from a woman, not from anyone. The man who needs no approval can never be emotionally controlled. And that's the kind of man every woman silently admires, even if she never says it. Number 2, high-value men never overshare or over-explain. A common mistake weak men make is thinking vulnerability means unloading every detail of their emotions, fears, and past failures. But true vulnerability is strength controlled, not chaos unleashed. A Stoic man doesn't overshare, not because he's hiding something, but because he understands the value of mystery and restraint. When you talk too much about your pain, you turn your life into a confession booth. But when you speak selectively, with calm and purpose, your words hold weight. The less you say, the more people listen. This applies even more around women. A high-value man never tries to make a woman understand him through endless explanations. He simply is who he is. His presence explains enough. In a world where everyone overshares online, silence has become a superpower. The man who can remain composed and measured in his speech is the man who controls the frame of every conversation. He's not manipulated by guilt, nor pressured into proving himself. Stoicism teaches emotional discipline, and that means controlling what leaves your mouth. There's something magnetic about a man who speaks with intention. Women notice the way he pauses before responding, the calm in his tone, the weight behind his silence. It communicates depth, a rare quality today. So remember, not every thought deserves a voice. Not every question deserves an answer. Speak less, mean more. A high-value man never tries to be understood. He lives in such a way that understanding him becomes unnecessary. Number 3, high-value men never compete for attention. In today's culture, many men lose themselves trying to be noticed, louder, funnier, flashier, always chasing eyes that never look back. But a high-value man doesn't compete for attention because he commands it. His energy is rooted, not restless. He doesn't perform. He doesn't chase validation through comparison. He knows his worth doesn't rise or fall based on who's watching. A Stoic man moves like water, calm, confident, flowing at his own pace. He doesn't need to prove his worth by outshining others. Competition for attention is insecurity in disguise. When you know your value, you don't seek the spotlight. The spotlight finds you. Because real power is quiet, not loud. Women are intuitive. They sense insecurity faster than words can reveal it. The man who competes to impress her immediately shows that he's competing for her approval. The man who stays grounded, detached, and authentic makes her curious. Curiosity is more powerful than attraction. It keeps people invested. In Stoicism, detachment isn't coldness. It's control. You don't detach because you don't care. You detach because you refuse to be controlled by things outside your power. And that includes attention. The moment you stop chasing it, you start attracting it naturally. So, never compete for attention. Let your discipline, composure, and quiet confidence do the speaking. True strength doesn't beg to be seen, it's felt. Number 4. High-value men never let emotions rule their actions. The difference between a common man and a Stoic man lies in emotional mastery. A low-value man reacts. He raises his voice when ignored, becomes cold when jealous, and acts out when rejected. But a high-value man responds. He processes first, then speaks. He feels deeply, but remains unshaken. That's true power. Women are emotional beings. They test your composure, often unconsciously. Not to manipulate, but to measure your stability. They want to feel your calmness when chaos surrounds them. But when you let your emotions control your actions, you fail that test every time. A Stoic man remains steady. His peace cannot be taken away by someone else's mood swings or silence. Emotional control doesn't mean suppression. It means choosing what deserves your reaction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." A high-value man knows that how he reacts determines his reality. Anger, jealousy, and pride are all chains, and the Stoic breaks them through awareness. The truth is, emotional men are not unattractive because they feel. They're unattractive because they lose control. A calm man, however, can express emotion without drowning in it. He can be passionate without being impulsive. That's what women respect. Not coldness, but control. The more you master your emotions, the less power the world has over you. And that's what makes a man truly untouchable. Number 5. High-value men never put women above their purpose. The ultimate downfall of many men is misplacing their focus. They revolve their lives around women, mistaking romance for meaning. But a Stoic man knows his purpose must come first, always. Because without purpose, a man becomes emotionally fragile and easily led. A man without direction is a man without power. Women are naturally drawn to men who are consumed by something greater than them. A vision, a mission, a calling. When your time and energy are spent chasing women instead of growth, you communicate that you've abandoned your higher self. And once you do that, respect fades. A high-value man doesn't neglect love. He simply prioritizes it properly. His purpose is his foundation. It keeps him grounded when people leave, when life shifts, when emotions rise. In Stoicism, Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Purpose is that mastery. It gives you direction when temptation whispers, strength when rejection stings, and peace when things don't go your way. When you chase your purpose, you evolve. When you chase women, you revolve. In circles, endlessly. A Stoic man moves forward, unshaken, unwavering, unstoppable. He builds himself first because he understands that everything else, love, respect, success, flows from who he becomes. So, never place women above your purpose. When you stay true to your mission, the right woman will naturally align with your path, not the other way around. Number 6. High-value men never chase after rejection. When a woman pulls away, most men panic. They double text, overthink, replay conversations in their head, wondering what they said wrong. But a Stoic man doesn't chase after rejection. He understands that rejection is not a reflection of his worth, but a redirection of his energy. The moment you start chasing someone who's walked away, you send one message loud and clear: my peace depends on you. That's emotional slavery, and Stoicism teaches freedom. When someone rejects you, what they're really saying is, I can't meet you where you are. A high-value man respects that. He doesn't beg, plead, or try to prove his value through more attention. He steps back, not out of pride, but from clarity. He knows that what's meant for him doesn't require pursuit. Rejection simply clears space for something more aligned. This mindset doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from inner security. Marcus Aurelius said, accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs. A Stoic man doesn't try to bend fate to his will. He flows with it. When a woman walks away, he lets her. Not because he doesn't care, but because his dignity is worth more than her indecision. Every time you chase what rejects you, you affirm that you are less than it. Every time you let it go, you prove that you are whole without it. Women subconsciously respect men who don't beg for love. Detachment is not cruelty, it's clarity. A high-value man never punishes rejection with bitterness or ego. He simply moves on with calm strength. He doesn't send long messages trying to explain his worth. He lets silence speak, because silence, when rooted in self-respect, says everything that words can't. When you stop chasing rejection, you stop betraying your own value. The man who can walk away gracefully is the man who never truly loses. Number 7. High-value men never disrespect themselves to be liked. There's a subtle way men lose their power: by tolerating disrespect in the name of connection. They laugh at jokes that insult them. They stay silent when boundaries are crossed. They agree to things they don't want just to seem easygoing. But every time you betray your standards, you tell the world that your respect can be bought with attention. A high-value man never disrespects himself to be liked. Not by women, not by anyone. Self-respect is quiet power. It's the invisible aura that others feel around you. It's not loud or demanding, but it commands honor without words. A Stoic man doesn't beg to be treated well. He simply doesn't stay where he isn't. He doesn't explain his boundaries. He lives by them. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. You teach people how to treat you by what you accept. When you tolerate disrespect, you normalize it. Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That means being okay with walking away from situations that don't align with your values, even if it makes you look cold, distant, or difficult. A Stoic man doesn't fear misunderstanding. He fears self-betrayal. Because once you lose self-respect, no amount of validation can replace it. Women test boundaries, not because they want to dominate, but because they want to feel the security of a man who won't bend easily. When she sees that you prioritize your respect over her approval, she relaxes because she knows you can lead. Respect, after all, begins with self-respect. So never shrink to be accepted. Never laugh when you're not amused. Never apologize for having standards. A high-value man would rather walk alone in peace than stay surrounded in disrespect. Because in the end, the man who respects himself never has to beg to be respected by others. At the end of the day, being a high-value man has nothing to do with money, looks, or status. It's about who you are when no one's watching. It's about how you carry yourself, how you think, and how you react when things don't go your way. Stoicism teaches that true strength isn't loud. It's silent, calm, and unshakable. A high-value man doesn't chase love, attention, or approval. He simply lives in a way that attracts respect naturally. Every man wants to be valued, but few realize that value comes from within. When you stop seeking it from others, you begin to embody it. You stop trying to impress and start to express. You stop trying to win women and start to win peace. Because the truth is, women are drawn to men who are rooted. Men who can remain still when others are lost in chaos. That's the rare energy of a Stoic. A man who knows himself so deeply that no one else can define him. You don't need to become someone else to be respected. You need to return to who you were before the world told you to chase. Every rejection, every heartbreak, every test is life teaching you self-mastery. The goal isn't to impress women, it's to master yourself. Because when you master yourself, everything else begins to fall into place. So, stop explaining, stop proving, stop chasing, and instead, start building. Build discipline, build stillness, build peace. That's what makes a man powerful. Not what he says, but what he is. The Stoic man stands firm, calm, and untouchable. A fortress of peace in a world full of noise. If this message spoke to you, take a second to like this video and subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but as a commitment to become the kind of man who leads himself with honor, calm, and purpose. Remember, high value isn't something you show, it's something you are. Stay grounded, stay unshaken, and, as always, stay stoic.